Okay, there are two ways to do a manual receiving of inventory. First of all is to go into the Adjust Inventory section and you do New, and you pick the items that you want to receive. Okay, you put your quantities in. Let me show you a snapshot of the item just like we do in sales. There's a place to put notes that if you want to put a note about why you're doing this manual receiving. And then on the end, you've got information like the pack size, location, and things like that. And you can change the location as you receive it as well. That way, if you're going to move it into a new location, you can do that at this point as well. You can put a reference number on here if you're doing it referencing some kind of a book or something like that with a number on it. And you can put a supplier on here if you want to record a supplier for this. And of course, the currency get picked up by the supplier. Receive date is important. This is the date it gets posted to the general ledger. So what's going to happen is that this is going to debit the GL account for inventory, and it's going to credit whatever account you've got set up under the company's setup for this receiving. It could be either the accrued liabilities account for purchase orders you want to put against this, or it's going to be an adjustment account as well. At this point, you can print labels for all these that you're about to receive, so it puts the quantities in here properly. You can just hit print to print off 2 of these, 3 of those, and 1 of those. Once you've completed filling out this, you can also print it. So this is a report that prints previous to posting this to the general ledger. So you can print or email this to whoever. If I preview that, it shows me the report that it prints off, and it's just a list of all the items and their total costs. I can then save this, and at this point it's just saved on the list, and it just is not yet posted to the ledgers on this. You can still print this and review it. Somebody who's now reviewed it and checked that it's correct can open it up and then post to ledgers. When you post to ledgers, it'll also ask you want to print two reports. One is a receiving report like we just looked at. The other one is an order fulfillment report. So what this does, if we preview it, shows your report. The first one is exactly the same as the first, showing what the value is. And the second one, it tells you what sales orders you can now fulfill based on the fact that you've just received these items. Any receiving that is not yet posted that is sitting in this location, it will commit the inventory. So it'll show it as, if it's coming in, it'll show it as being on order, similar to what a purchase order would do. That way, if you got things in transit, it'll keep track of it. Very similar to a manual receiving is an adjustment. It's all exactly the same, except for in this case, we allow you to choose the GL account on the fly that you want this moved to. So it will credit or debit the inventory account, and the offsetting account is whatever account you choose here. So you may be adjusting for breakage, you may be sending some items out for advertising if you're sending them off to prizes for a golf tournament or something like that. And that is the only difference between the two types. So this one is an adjustment. Also, the receiving document gets an A on it as opposed to an R for receiving. That way you can tell the difference between your adjustments and your receivings. In the case of a warehouse transfer, you would pick your from warehouse and then your to warehouse. Then you can pick a number of items to transfer. Quantities. In this case, the difference is when I hit my print button, I'm going to get a report that shows the warehouse it went out of and the warehouse went into. And then when I save and close this one without posting it, this transfer now has the items that are coming where it's coming from being committed, and in the to warehouse they're showing as being on order at that point. And then you can also add a markup percentage so that it posts a percentage of the transfer amount, value, dollar value, to an income account that you set up in company setup. If you want to charge a higher amount to the other warehouse, and then the new item will get that offsetting cost added to it as it gets transferred.